The president of the Grand Bahama Port Authority addressing some environmental issues that are creating a bit of an eyesore on that island. Here's Natalia Hall.
The image of the city of Freeport is a concern for some residents. While the president of the Grand Bahama Port Authority, Ian Roll, is addressing some of those concerns. Dilapidated buildings are an issue. The president says when it comes to demolishing buildings, it is a complex situation.
You cannot simply walk in and demolish the building if it's structurally sound, and the laws, the bylaws dictate that you only can go in and cause a demolition to happen if the building is unsafe and is not sound. So even though a building may not have windows or doors, or you might even see issues with a roof, but it could be fixed. So a structural engineer, a third-party structural engineer would go in and review and analyze the situation and then come up with a report. And if that engineer, third-party engineer, says this building still has some soundness to it and could be fixed, you can't demolish it.
But the good news is the GBPA is working with the government to rectify the issue.
To use a different arm, the environmental court, to cause some of these environmental issues to be dealt with in the city. And we're also asking the government to consider revising the bylaws to give us more teeth to take down a lot of these buildings.
And as it relates to the roads, he says revenue gained from license fees and service charges are used to maintain the infrastructure in the city.
What happens is, if you don't pay your service charges, you don't pay your license fees, etc., then you yourself are causing an issue for the city that you live in. It's almost like if you don't pay your customs duties or your VAT monies to the government, which is used to maintain the infrastructure of the country, you're doing yourself a disservice. Although some people think they're getting away, in the short term, in the long term, you're hurting not only yourself, but you're hurting your children in the future.
And for those who simply cannot afford to pay the fees,
yeah, we understand that. But we also know that some people are taking advantage of a situation.
Derelict vehicles are also an issue. For months now, hundreds of cars have been piled up in the Queens Cove area. Roll says the port is aware of the issue, and it was a challenge even before Hurricane Dorian.
So now you have hundreds of vehicles out there, and persons just dumping them along the road, going to Queens Cove area. So just recently, we engaged the services of 2 or 3 licensees to start moving some of these vehicles on plots of land that we control. So if you look along the Queens Cove Road right now, you'll see some of these cars have been moved, and we're going to continue to move a lot of these vehicles and put them on plots.
Natalia Hall, ZNS Network News.